You've got to feel comfortable, haven't you?
Yeah.
If you're not comfortable, you talk awkward.
Well, that's right.
You flounder. We're the Tidy Boys, and welcome to our new show, Eat, Sleep, Talk, Repeat, which is a follow-on from our previous podcast, which had a lot of music and fun and games.
What was that called again?
That was called Music for a Harder Generation.
And it went to where in the iTunes chart?
We've only done 2, and they both went to number 1 in the Apple chart.
That's lovely.
And that's not in the music chart, that's in their national chart. So we've
Smashing.
had huge success. That was 4 years ago. People still listen to those podcasts. So we thought we'd get back into the radio studio where we belong, but we do something different. Now, for me, I believe there's a lot of passion in sport, religion and politics. There's some great radio shows and audio podcasts which are about those subjects. But the most passionate thing that me and you love is music.
We do.
And there's never been a talk show about music. So it's like talk sport for clubbing and the dance industry.
So a music talk show without any music. That's the idea, isn't it?
That's the idea.
Yeah.
Now, the other idea is we get some special guests in periodically, and we would find people that are into different styles of music. And that's the other thing I must stress, Andy. We're not here just to talk about hard house. We're talking about R&B, drum and bass, hardcore, EDM, all kinds of music. Yeah.
So this is about clubbing, the culture, not just music, yeah?
No, not just. It's about everything that goes along with clubbing. There's been 80 million people clubbing since 1990. There's a big audience out there. And also, it causes debate. I think, when we get the phone-ins going, people can ring and tell us why they think techno's great or why they think it's boring. It's a good subject matter.
A lot of memories,
Yep.
a lot of life shaped by clubbing and music.
A lot of stories. So we also need some guests, as I mentioned earlier.
Right.
Now, the first show, it's our chosen subject. We are going to be talking mainly about hard house because that's the Tidy Boys background. So we thought we'd start the first show with something we really know a lot about. Then I thought, well, we need a big guest to start off with.
Superstar, I'd say.
Somebody who actually loves hard house as much as us. So the other person who's the biggest superstar, as I know, who's into hard house is Nick Frost.
So Nick Frost's coming down.
So he should be here in about 30 seconds.
Anytime.
I've just got a text message that says...
On my way.
Where we go. He says, where are you? So he should be here in a second. So we will be got Nick Frost in the radio studio and we can ask him about clubbing, music, hard house, films, anything. It's a very hot studio, so we will be sweating. Now, we're also, as well as our voices, there is some cameras in the room, so you can actually watch this on YouTube as well.
This is the pilot.
Yes.
Kicking it off lovely with the superstar that is Nick Frost. Who knows where it'll go?
Right, well, let's get Nick in because he's upstairs now, so let's bring him down. Here he is, Nick.
How are you, mate?
That's
How are you, mate? Hi, mate. How are you, bud?
We're good, yeah. Welcome to the sauna.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah. You've been here before, apparently.
Yes, I was upstairs like a couple of weeks ago.
Doing a radio show or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Moonlighting without telling us.
Yeah, that's very good. You can play what you want. Sorry.
Yeah, so Ange can't be here because she was just actually telling Andy that she's got food poisoning.
Right.
Could be E. coli. He said that's normally egg-based, but I think it's... No, she's been sick and everything.
Oh, that's weird.
For 4 days.
I've got the other problem.
What?
I just feel like sorry, I feel like there's a blockage way up.
Oh, really? Oh, right.
Yeah.
Stool-based?
Yeah, I think so.
Blocked?
Yes, but at a point where I couldn't get a toothbrush to get out. Are we live? This going out live? You're listening to Tidy Radio.
Yeah, I've had that before. And we used to have a debate, didn't we, that would you rather be constipated or have diarrhea?
Oh, I'd much rather... Can I have some water? I'd much rather have diarrhea.
Yeah.
1,000,000 times, yes.
Yeah, and I think it was 80%.
I think it's quite purging.
I think there's
what's happening to me right now, I think.
But I've got a France-based story I could relay, which is the opposite, where you're longing for a blockage.
You're longing
when you're driving a car.
Oh, well, yes, that's
a whole different game.
Me and my girlfriend were in a hotel in Los Angeles. We both had it, and I had to do a shit in a bin because she was in the toilet, and there was only.
You had to do a shit in a bin.
Well, I didn't want to upset her flow, so I thought, well, I can't. I have to do it.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
Do you know that I've only ever done that once? That was at Trade nightclub. Tony DeVee.
Again, good content. You're losing good content.
No, this is going. We can have this, can't we? We can. I think
brilliant.
This stuff is gold.
Just
honestly.
to let you know, this stuff
is tidy gold.
We've come up with an idea of the first dance radio show with no music. Right. You've got talk radio, you've got talk sport. They always talk about religion, politics, and things that people are passionate about, like sport. I know you like West Ham, of course. But nobody's ever done a show where passionate about music, and is not music the most passionate thing you can feel?
Yeah.
So, do you think, before we start, that this is a good idea or a bad idea?
I think you could probably top and tail it with a track of the week, but
Yeah.
I don't see why it's a bad idea. I guess people are going to listen to you guys, not necessarily. And then from what you say, they then enter they go down the rabbit hole looking for it.
But we're not just talking about hard house. The show premise is we could have Trevor Nelson on one. We can talk about. See, I'm going to play I'm going to be against everything. So
Right.
I'm going to slag off R&B in front of Trevor Nelson, and Andy is going to be the voice of reason.
Okay.
So I made a list of actually all different music styles before we get back on to
Big fan.
Constipation. See what you think to this. Hardcore too fast. Techno too dull, trance for mum and dads, house too commercial, EDM for children,
Oh, yeah.
drum and bass might get shot, R&B same, dubstep just a noise, hardstyle the same, hard house lovely.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I would put hardstyle and EDM together. I don't like either of those things.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's a waste
Well,
of human emotions.
I think we've all got the same feeling on hardstyle, and now this is going to eventually be a phone-in. So what would happen now is we would say slightly mildly slag off hardstyle.
We got Kutsky on the line, or
Yeah, you've got Kutsky having a real go, but you get some mad Irishman really going mad down the
Well, we
phone.
took it too far, didn't we, on YouTube? And we did get death threats. And
I don't see that. I think. Oh, is this go? Are we going out? Is this? Or
Yeah,
I don't know. It's rolling.
Okay, fine.
It's rolling.
Well, I just think with like hard style, I think it's. I think they've read the recipe wrong.
Right.
You know, I don't think you earn that euphoric break, which you build toward. It's just that all the time, which I guess is. I don't know. Look, I'm talking myself out of it. I guess there's a place for that. I call it clong. I'm just talking about hardstyle to myself because that's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, but
Bum, bum, bum,
but weirdly,
bum, bum, bum.
people assume if you're into hard house, you're going to like hard style.
Yes, exactly. Sometimes when I listen, if I listen to Marky G's podcast or something, he plays something crazy at the end. And there's a few times I thought, oh,
Well, I think that's the point, because we would have dropped a hard style track into our set going back a few years, but it was just a little flavour of the set,
Yes.
rather than from start to finish,
Yeah.
furious kick drums.
do you want to drop more, Andy?
Yes, please.
Yeah,
That'd be lovely.
that is vodka, isn't it?
You know what I'm listening to a lot of now? I'm listening to a lot of techno right now. I'm seeing some of the massive gigs in Holland and Belgium and
Yeah.
with the likes of Amelie Lenz and Len Faki and Charlotte DeWitt, and they're kind of doing it. I really enjoy it.
Hard-edged.
Yeah, it is slightly harder edged, but I'm really enjoying it.
Well, techno's evolved since 1992. Really, it's gone. When I used to play techno in '92, it was a totally different sound. It was nothing like it is now. It's very percussive.
Yeah.
The good thing about being a DJ, techno DJ, you can play lots of tricks and
Yeah.
do lots of stuff, whereas you can't do that with, say, trance. So we like techno, but again, could I stand? How long do you listen to it for? Can you listen to it in 2-hour batches?
A drive into town for me is probably an hour and 10 minutes,
Right.
and that's as much as I probably ever listen to at one go.
Would you say that's the same for all types of music? That you can't have. It is. How long is too much of one style of music?
Yeah, I mean, I think the last 5 years, probably until a year ago, I only listened to hard house for 5 years and nothing else.
Really?
Yes, and I realised, I thought maybe, I don't know why that's happening. I felt like there was an issue with my mind.
There's car listening and there's club listening, isn't there? So
Yeah.
techno in a club environment versus techno in a car environment.
Does it work on the dance floor, or would techno sort of put you in a sort of trance state, a bit hypnotic, whereas hard house, you go like that
Yeah.
and you go like that?
I think of all the scenes, hard house is the only one where everyone seems to be having a lot of fun.
Yes, I agree with that.
Less teeth as well. When I went to the weekend drive, there was a low tooth count.
yeah,
amongst
a low
your followers.
But if you go into hardcore,
There's a none tooth
there's
count.
one tooth. There's one tooth amongst all of them.
Yeah.
And now we'll probably get a hardcore DJ like Brisk ring me up and say, "What are you doing slagging off?" But that's the point of the show, Nick. We're already gone straight into it, and
Yeah.
we're choosing our favourite music, and we're sort of slightly having a dig at others. But that's what a debate is. You know, talk radio. You'll get a Tottenham fan slagging off West Ham.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's what we're today. No, just to let you know, Ange was going to be here because she's a big fan of yours. My wife, that is, for people listening. So much so that sometimes in the bedroom I have to pretend I'm you.
It's true.
That's a nice thing.
But it's got a little bit. It started off as a bit of fun.
Have you seen the fake ammo page on Facebook?
No, I'm not on Facebook. I don't know what Facebook. I mean, I know of it, but I don't.
It's probably worth getting it up actually at some point, Sherry, because this started a number of years ago in Ibiza where we got picked up by the airport. And I actually thought it was him. I looked through the little window where you see the people picking up, and I saw somebody I thought was him, and he was absolute replica. And since then, we've started spotting fake ammos, and there was somebody that masqueraded as you in Ibiza as well and started getting in clubs. So we've started a fan page for a year, and we've now got people spotting fake ammos. It's worth a visit, and you are on there.
That's amazing. That's good.
So the wife's pleased with that.
I just cut my beard a bit as well.
I was going to notice because the last time I saw you, it was the longest.
It was. I went on holiday a few weeks ago. My ex-wife's family have a tiny house on an island in the Baltic Sea, and we all went there. We're like a blended family now with my new partner, and we all get on. But my drunk wife and her drunk mum and my girlfriend all kind of got together and literally just shaved, cut it off with big scissors, like big.
Attacked you with the scissors and basically, right?
Just said, "Come on, it's stupid. It's stupid. It's too long."
How long didn't they like it? I mean, was this building up?
I don't know. I think this goes back to before the divorce.
But I actually quite liked it, but now looking at it short, do you know what? I think you've got the optimum length.
I think I look a bit younger.
Yeah.
But I also don't feel as powerful.
But it must be weird having to be a character when you've got to shave your head, grow a beard, grow your hair, and be that person for a number of months.
It depends what character. I think some of the ones that have problems are harder to bring home because you suddenly become that person at home, and you know.
Sick Note, you had it about that length, didn't you?
Yes.
So that did you shave it for because you did the Badlands and then?
No, they let me keep it how I want it. I mean, I can just since I've had it a long beard, that no one's ever said, "Oh, you have to cut it."
Oh, so you never grew it for a role?
No, I just grew it, and then no one said you have to cut. I would cut it, but
you did get the Father Christmas role in Doctor Who
because of it, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
So that paid off.
Yeah.
But has it put people off? Like, let's just say they want somebody who's clean shaven. Would you have shaved it off for the purpose of a good role?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there was a talk of me playing Amy Winehouse's dad.
Ah, right.
And of course, Mitch didn't have a beard. He doesn't have a beard, so I would then shave it off.
Yeah. Well, that's fair. You shaved your head though, haven't you? You shaved your head for Badlands.
For Badlands, yeah. Now it's just growing back.
So that was the fake ammo moment.
That was a fake ammo. Yeah, when you got it like this. But like I said, back to the wife. She does enjoy me being you.
How does it show itself?
It usually starts off with heavy petting,
Sure.
And then all of a sudden she says, "Oh, Nick," and there it goes on.
All right, well, I've got a chip off.
Yeah, but I thought I'd let you know that because she did want to come down and see you, but she would have been sick over you.
The thought of
food poisoning
and Ange doing
in this small
really
room as
wet
well.
shits everywhere doesn't turn me off, weirdly.
I've got a question about that later, funny enough. I'm still trying to find the fake ammo page, but so back to the music. This is what we did say that we wouldn't talk about religion, we wouldn't talk about politics, and we wouldn't talk about sport.
Yeah.
Although I actually put in the show list here that wouldn't it be good if we could say one line about them. So I did make a note, and I've actually got mine prepared. So I thought politics. Always voted red but confused now. Religion, I think it's made up. And sport, I like football, darts, snooker, and I used to be good at tennis.
Oh, no, why aren't you good at tennis anymore?
Because I'm old and fat.
And I've known him for 20 years, and I don't think that's the truth because I've never seen you play tennis.
It must be longer than 20 years you guys have known each other.
22 years together. But yeah, tennis, I was good up until 17, and then I met girls and put on weight.
Yeah, they take
the time up, don't they? So tennis was out the window. So yeah, if you could say, Andy, one line about politics.
I'm really not. I just have no interest in it.
No interest.
Muppet Show.
Religion.
Atheist.
And sport.
Leeds United.
Nick, politics. One line only.
I hate a lot of them.
Religion.
I hate all of them.
Sport.
Come on, you Irons.
I knew that was good. My brother's a West Ham fan. He's got a shield on his back that big.
Amazing.
With the West Ham on there. Have you got a West Ham tattoo anyway?
I have not. No, not yet. I mean, I'm going to get some. My girlfriend's a bit funny about it if we go on the beach, and I get enough trouble as it is, but I don't know. I think I'll sneak a little one in there somewhere.
Oh yeah, I think it should be. It's your passion. Would you say sport or music's your biggest love?
I wouldn't. I don't know. I'd say my child.
Really? Yeah.
Bringing up my child.
It's a good answer.
I don't know. Food, the garden. I think I probably like music more than sport.
Yeah.
I was just as a by the by. Have you ever heard any Turkish psychedelica?
No.
I was in Soho Radio where we are today, and they played this weird track, and he said, that's some Turkish psychedelia. And then I went and searched for it. It was amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
What sort of speed is it?
I don't know. Are we allowed to play out stuff?
Yeah, you can play it. If you have a look,
have a little chat, and I'll bring because I've got it.
The worst new music I think's come in the last 2 years was a thing that somebody said tropical house, right? And I thought, is that genuine? And I looked on Spotify, and there was a whole playlist of tropical house.
Well, interestingly, when I was travelling down the train today, just researching for the show, I put the word rave into Wikipedia, and it told you what a rave was, which was quite interesting in its own right. But it listed all the genres of music you might hear at a rave, which was quite comprehensive. But no hard house.
No, that's crazy.
Oh, okay, let me see if I can.
This is Turkish what? Bath music? Turkish psytrance. You're probably not going to get
Turkish psychedelic. Oh, I know.
You're going to probably tether off me. While you're doing that, I can actually look for some fake ammo. So I know. I've actually got some pictures here.
Anyway, do you know when you start on a little search of things and then it takes you to this and you think, oh my God, this is amazing. Yeah. Do you ever hear of that Muhammad Ali Bira?
Can't say.
So he was like an Ethiopian jazz funk guy from 1967. Like you listen to his albums, you think, imagine being in Addis Ababa in the 60s and they're playing this shit. It's kind of incredible. But this had I can't find it now. But this had the same kind of vibe to it where you think...
So what is it? Tell the ladies and gentlemen boys and girls so they can search for it after this show.
Let me find it, if I can find it. It's Edip Akbayram, and the tune is Yakar Incident.
Could you spell that for us?
I'm looking at it and I can't.
You can't spell it. Just by the way, there's the first fake ammo on that box.
Stealing a child. Oh, come on. I get that one all the time.
You get that one, yeah. I mean, for the people
I think I told someone once...
That's a good one.
I think like a famous celebrity said to me what took, and I ended up turning to get lost.
Yeah, I mean, for the people,
that's a good one.
That's me.
Oh,
that's me. No, that's ridiculous.
That's awful.
So for people that are obviously listening and not watching, I was just showing Nick there some pictures. Who's the actor guy who's in The Office? What's his name?
Gareth. I don't know his name.
Yeah, he's the most one that looks like me, isn't he? But you get that.
Keith is called.
Keith.
Yeah.
I sometimes get like people who like send in photographs on Twitter or saying, hey, I think my uncle looks a lot like you.
Really?
And it's just essentially the ugliest troll in the world with eye tumours.
You get the same as me. If you've got, when you had short hair, if you've got short hair, glasses, and a beard, it looks like you.
Yeah.
Are you flattered or am I bullying you with this page?
You're bullying us.
I do see you liking them, though.
Oh, by the way, Nick, before we go on. I've got a little present for you. Not that people can see, because you said you wanted some slip mats.
Oh, I thought you might have already left on the train, so I didn't imagine you'd...
No. Well, you wanted some yellow tidy ones, which we'd sold out of, but I'm going to get you some for Friday. But I've got you... Acid House.
Amazing.
Acid House 87.
That's lovely.
And there's some tidy ones as well.
Thanks, mate.
And also I've got you, because you're into vinyl, we'll talk about that in a minute.
I am into vinyl.
We've got a big debate on...
There's an amazing record shop opened like 2 years ago. Thanks. Oh,
Tony DeVee. Tony DeVee remixes.
Twickenham like 2 years ago. And it's amazing. It's like a great record shop. Thank you for that. I'm there every Saturday. Me and my son, he's allowed to buy a record a week. And he gets to choose what he wants, and it's always... ends up being some fucking Lee Scratch Perry £40 8 song,
Really?
So now there's a kind of under $5 dub plate bin that he's allowed to have a dip in.
You've got your deck set up now, have you?
I have, yeah. I've never had, years ago, like 20 years ago I had them, but I haven't since, so...
Comes out.
And competent on the mixing?
No, I don't know.
I'm enjoying it. You have played out.
A little bit. But it's fun to... Because we moved into a new house in December, and it's lovely, and I had one record player, and like my girlfriend's mates would come and have like dinner and stuff, and you have to keep getting up every few minutes to change a record, which is the bad side of records.
One deck.
But now I don't have to do that. I can just stay stood. And
so you're DJing at your own dinner parties?
Yes, we've got I have another child en route, and we're having Mazel Tov. We're having a thing on the 27th. So I've never had a party before at a house that I've owned, because I have a weird thing about people touching my shit, and so.
So you're inviting close friends, obviously.
Yeah, like Hayley, my girlfriend. She said, "Why don't we do it? We've got a nice garden, and the house is, big enough." And I said, "Yeah, fuck it, yeah, why not? Let's do it."
Do you need lessons? Do you need Do you need?
I don't think it's enough time.
Really?
I think I'd be all right just to get from one crushing 70s reggae vibe to the next, and then into Northern Soul, and then perhaps as the evening gets later, then.
A bit of hard house.
Yeah, we're going to end on the TDB.
But there is a story, and I don't think it's ever got relayed, or it may have done, where you were in, was it Las Vegas or somewhere, and you mimed to a Lucifer set.
Yeah, I did. Yes,
that's always stuck with me. That.
And it was because it was the World's End premiere party. And it happened to fall on the anniversary, like the 3rd anniversary of my old man dying. So I got hammered. And then at the World's End party, at like midnight, I started to play just hard house on my phone, just not pretending I was DJing. And then some guy said, "Oh, this stuff is amazing. I've got a show tonight at the Roosevelt, is a hotel in Los Angeles." He said, "Why don't you come and play now?" I said, "Yeah, fuck it, all right." And I turned up, and there were 600 people there.
Oh my god!
And it's a thing every Thursday. They play out, people turn up, and it was just, I don't know, it was awful, just because it was. So I thought I'd put a Lucifer mix on and pretend to mix, and then no one danced except 30 people at the front who seemed to love it.
And so you were actually miming.
Yeah, well, because when you listen to hard house a lot, I mean, you know mathematically how it works.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's very odd that you get to a point where you go ta ta ta, and then nothing happens at the last ta.
Yeah.
It's always,
Yeah.
So you can pretend, I think, that's how that works.
But
I lost my jacket. I left my phone on the decks at the end. There was no end. It was like 20 minutes in, and I passed out onto the mixers, and then they dragged me out, like bouncers dragged me out by my feet and left me on the sidewalk.
A normal hard house night, really, then?
Yeah.
Just a normal hard.
Yeah.
Do you know, Nick, I know that you're dabbling with a bit of vinyl, and do you want to be a DJ? Because I asked this question because you do realise that if you wanted, we could get you on at Creamfields.
No, it's too. I've said we've had this conversation before, but I don't feel like I've earned that, and it's just too. It's like doing a play, isn't it? It feels like it's really.
Well, what if we start smaller than one of our gigs? Maybe a small room,
tidy London,
a few hundred people, discreet.
I think I'd have to play a set. I'd have to get a set at home that I'd be happy with. And then transfer that out. I think.
We need an ambassador for particularly our genre of music, because everybody's into, other celebrities are into other styles of music. But you and, I said there is only one other, and that's unfortunately Paul Chuckle, who...
Is he hard?
Yeah, he plays hard house in the car. And we've got loads of clips of him. But obviously Barry passed away.
Sadly passed away this week,
so it's a bit sad. But Paul and Barry came to a weekender. I know you've been.
Yes,
they came a couple of years ago to a weekender. They did their act, because hard house people love the Chuckle Brothers, weirdly. But do you remember the weekender? You came, didn't you?
Yeah.
Once? Any memories of it?
I danced with 2 black curtains for an hour. And one kept leaving, and then when that one left, the other one turned back up, and I realised it was a door open and the wind was just blowing.
You enjoyed it though, didn't you?
I loved it. I think we were meant to do a Q&A at like 4 in the afternoon.
Yeah, I got a text from you saying, had to leave site, don't feel well.
I think I got back at like 10:30, 11 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then said to my girlfriend and her mate, we should fucking go. I'm in right now. And then,
I did say pace yourself, didn't you? It's 3 days and 3 nights, and I think you crammed those 3 days into one night. I think you were trying to kiss Andy Farley at one stage.
Yes, at like 7:30 in the pub.
But that's natural because, just to let you know Andy's straight.
My daughter's here.
Daughter's here, but he has got a crush. He has got a crush on Andy Farley.
But if I was that way inclined,
he would be the man.
I'd love to marry him.
Yeah. Andy Farley's like, he's like you, him, Andy Farley. You know, it's like it's like the evolution of man.
Yeah,
of Hard House man.
I want to hold his hand. Just want to hold his hand.
Is there any other man that you would like to date? While we're on the subject, just so.
No, it's just Andy Farley.
It's just Andy
Farley.
Anyone else on the Hard House scene?
Male. It's too obvious to go down the female route.
Let's go Shag, Marry, Kill.
Rob Teixeira for fun. Lots of fun, I think, with Rob Teixeira.
I think he'd be good in bed. I'd like to probably spend an hour with Fergie.
Ooh.
The Duchess of York.
No, not that one. DJ Fergie. He plays in Las Vegas now, and he plays a bit of clonk now. He's gone. Well, EDM, and he was a big hard house DJ. Went to America, become quite famous in Las Vegas. Plays to tourists, and they love a bit of EDM and clonk. So I always thought Kutsky might be a good kisser, but
not for me.
Not anymore.
Not for me.
Not anymore. So we digress.
I think Skull would be fun.
Who?
Skull
would be fun.
It'd be,
Female DJs. You had a little.
Obviously, I dated one at one point.
Dated Anne Savage.
Anne Savage.
Oh,
yeah. We were in South Africa together, and they had a little fling.
A whirlwind.
I've kissed Lisa Lashes.
When?
Right.
On the lips once.
You did not.
I did. I didn't tell you about it, but I thought this is the opportunity to just say I did kiss her, and it was quite long. But she was very young then. I think she was only about 23, 24, and it was early days.
Just fillet of Anne Savage.
We obviously and there was one other girl that you quite liked was Tara Reynolds, Lucy Furr,
Charlotte Birch,
Amber D.
Oh, Amber D, your name,
Steady on
Kim
now.
Ayres. They're all quite. I mean, considering that Hard House, like you said, there's not many teeth in it. There's a lot of quite attractive girls in Hard House.
Yeah.
Whereas you don't get that normally. Do you get it in techno and
Amelie Lenz? That's who I'm infatuated with right now.
Really?
Belgian waif.
Right.
It's fantastic.
I've got to ask a question we don't want to, it's got to be conversational, but a lot of people might not know what your background is from. Where did you first go clubbing? Just a potted history of Nick Frost from he's a teenager with no pubic hair, then he gets pubic hair and goes clubbing. What happens after that? Those dodgy ones in Ilford and Essex, me and my mates were there for that kind of telepathy, sunrise things. Other rain dance. Yeah, I think I went to the first rain dance in Jackson's Lane in Dagenham. Oh yeah,
just confusing, frightening things.
Illegal as well.
Illegal. Yeah, I was only 16, I think, and then just really passionate about that every weekend and building up to that. Driving around and going to service stations and getting a number and
the illegal
trailing out on cars and I remember going to like a freedom to dance like a rally. We went from Downing Street to Buckingham Palace, and it felt like there was a movement, like we were going to do something. And then
Thatcher ruined it.
And what happened then? I kind of went away when I was 19, 20 for a couple of years, so there was not so much. I got into pop a bit and hip hop, and then just kind of everything else. And then in the 90s, hanging out with South Africans and Australians, then it was the rebirth of, like going to the aquarium and Sunny Side Up and Sunflowers and Trade and all those great Antipodes clubs, and then that was like 10 years doing that.
Yeah.
And would you travel? Would you go up north to the Sunday Central?
I was just down here. Yeah. I wasn't a Sunday Central. What was the one in Sheffield?
Oh, there was one...
Insomniacs.
What was a super club in Sheffield?
Sunday Central.
Oh, was that Sunday Central? Okay, Gatecrasher.
Yeah, you had Gatecrasher, then you went on to Insomniacs.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you stayed in London. Trade was a special club, because obviously we think the Hard House was sort of... With Tony DeVee, we celebrated 20 years of, well, not celebrated, but commemorated 20 years of Tony DeVee. We think that Tony brought the gay scene from Trade, the music of Hard House, and he brought it to the masses, to the straight audience.
Yeah.
So we used to go to Trade. You used to get frightened, didn't you? But then, 10 minutes into it, he's got his top off.
But when you went down in Turnmills,
he loved it.
That narrow Muscle Mary alley, I think they called it.
All them bears.
All the shirts were off. I was a little bit intimidated.
I bet you were. A little cub like you.
Yeah.
Do you remember what the timeout Trade blurb said in Time Out London. It told you who was on, how much, obviously, but a bit about the house music policy. And then it said 3 words, which I'll always remember. It says, "Muscle boys dominate."
And they did.
And they did.
Because you had to walk down Muscle Mary Alley to get to the dance floor. And before you know it, shirt was off.
Yeah.
Which brings me nicely to my story I was going to start earlier on.
The poo story.
About the poo story. We talked about constipation diarrhea.
Sure.
Hot topic, which is which would you rather have? But I was in trade, and Tony DeVito, I gave him the acetate for Funky Groove, right?
Yeah.
And I said, "Can you play this?" And he said, "Yeah, I'll play it in the middle of the set." But I got this stomach cramp about halfway through the night, and I thought, oh my God. And I ran upstairs, and the trade toilets, they had no doors on them.
Of course.
And a lot of men kissing in there. They weren't really for going for a poo.
But I went the ladies.
Well,
as a straight man.
Yeah, I went in there foolishly, sat down, no paper, no door, no paper, 2 men kissing, watching me.
This is a red flag. This is
I'm in trouble.
This is a honeypot.
So what I did is I had to run upstairs where the Sharp Boys are playing, and they were serving hot dogs. So I went over and grabbed some serviettes, ran downstairs, and it all came away. And I was using these hot dog. And then all of a sudden, I could hear Tony playing. Funky Groove was coming in. I wanted to be on the dance floor, and I was just covered in serviettes.
That could be the name of your biography.
Or the new album.
Covered in serviettes, out now. In Bantam paperback.
So that was
last time I pissed myself at that thing we saw you at in London. I told you, yeah, I did.
Tidy London.
Couldn't make the toilet. There was such a massive queue. I thought, because I get hassled so much in the clubs too. And there were so many people, it's like, I don't want to queue up for 20 minutes, so I thought, I'll just leave it. I'll leave it. And then I said to my girlfriend, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make the toilet. So I had to find somewhere. I was looking for somewhere. Just thought, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it in the corner or something. And then I remember looking to Haley saying, "This just happened." It just came out for ages.
You just let it go.
And I just let it go. And I wasn't that much wetter than the sweat anyway. Because I've been drinking a lot of water, it wasn't like, oh, this stinks like
what's that smell?
coal tar.
But do you know what I like? I've done it twice now. The second time I enjoyed pissing myself because I think I was in a wood again, and when it comes out and it feels like natural, like you should do it like that. You know?
We weren't born with clothes.
No, and I enjoyed it.
What, you were fully clothed when you pissed yourself?
Yeah, and I did it once in a shop when I was 14. I went to take some bottles back. In those days you got 10p back.
Yeah.
I was 14, took the bottles back, desperate to go. She was ages out the back trying to find some Cherryade, and I just stood there and just pissed all over the floor. And she come out and she had a go at me. I was only 14.
Oh, she's dead. She's probably dead.
Are
you dead?
She will be dead.
Give us a ring.
In fact, I think I checked her Facebook, but she is dead. Mrs. Maycock, if Mrs. Maycock's daughters are watching, sorry about that. So that was the last time I pissed. Have you ever pissed or shit yourself?
Shit myself several occasions, but generally due to illness. You know, the cheeky trump that comes out down your leg.
Really?
Yeah, well, you're having a pee, you think of a little cheeky trump. Before you know it, it's wet. It's down your legs.
It's happening more and more as I get older. Not just a noise is escaping as I'm moving sometimes. It was sometimes when I do that show in Ireland the last couple of years, Into the Badlands, and that I'll be on the floor a lot. You get knocked out or punched, and they say, "All right, Nick, will you get down? We'll do this shot." And then, okay, we've got that. Let's move on. And then you get so sorry, guys. Isn't it awful as you get older? It just slackens.
Yeah, you always takes what's that cream you take always with you?
Preparation H.
Preparation H, because he's got a phobia that's going to be itchy on a tour, and he's always got Preparation H in his bag.
You've got to have a cream in your bag, haven't you?
Yeah, you need
you have got a big bum hole, haven't you?
tincture.
Yeah, you've got to have to tell him when he's been toilet. There's another one. So we digressed from music slightly.
Yes.
Let's get back on track. So we talked about you getting into hard house, frantic, you're friends with some Australians and some people from
South Africans.
Yeah. So that's the sort of mid-90s. So is that when you fall in love with hard house? It's about then?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, just you know better than most, but just that feeling that these are people, they're exactly the same people as you. You know what I mean? I'd never felt that before anywhere I'd been, And I think as growing up as a child in 1980s Britain, I think like a lot of people, you're always afraid you were going to be hit with a bottle or cut in a pub or say the wrong thing to a thick-fingered man. And, I was terrified of that because it happened a lot where I grew up. So when you then get to a place where you can actually think, oh, I don't think this is going to happen. It's quite the opposite. And we did it in Space, at the Club N episode when you see Mark and going to get hit by that guy at the beginning, and at the end he cuddles him. That's exactly how we felt about
everybody we speak to. Whenever we talk to the Hard House fraternity, they always mention Nick, ask about the spaced scene where you're doing the club, because it's probably the best short clubbing scene that captures it in, I don't know how long it was, probably about 1 minute 10 seconds.
Yes, it wasn't long.
You captured, I think, what everybody does and thought in that one segment.
Yeah, right. But it was important to us to get it right, because I'd seen so many ones that were rubbish.
Yeah.
It's always, whenever I see American club scenes, and they're always put like 9 Inch Nails or some kind of black tech noir shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, it doesn't feel like it's part of what the scene is.
But your outfit captured it.
Yeah.
Just that at the end.
Yeah.
It's sort of that, just what you were wearing, particularly Hard House, because people come dressed up as washing machines.
Yes.
They love getting dressed up. So I think you captured the fun, the music. It sort of said to us in Hard House that we could tell you were into Hard House.
Yeah.
Only just by the way you acted, and obviously it was directed by Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright. I've got an ex-girlfriend in that scene at the end, so I can't really watch it because I can't watch it.
Oh, right.
Without feeling a twang of ennui.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy doing it? Was it a long scene? Was it a good, fun scene to do, or does it look better when you look back in the edit?
It was fun. I mean, I think all those things are weird. They give a weird false narrative because you think everyone's hammered and just going for it all day, but it's not. It's so bitty and annoying. But even to the music, we wanted to get Tall Paul Newman, Commiserate. That was a tune that we loved, and
with the A-Team.
Yes. Me and Simon saw Fatboy Slim at the Big Beach Boutique.
Yeah.
And he played that for us.
Really?
And we were backstage, and he held it up for us at the end. It was
brilliant.
It was amazing. You can see our little faces on the backstage. There's they released a DVD, and you can see really young versions of us like,
oh, I love him.
Thanks, Norman.
But Simon obviously didn't go down the same route as you, did he? You went sort of Hard House, and did you say he went vocally?
Like big beat and vocal. Just not for me.
Is he still into that, or has he gone EDM?
I don't know. I don't know
what he's into now. You don't see him. I bet you don't see him very much anymore.
We don't. We got a company. We started a company in September, a film company, Stolen Pictures.
Yeah.
Picture, and he does. It's difficult to both be in the same place at the same time.
Yeah.
But the company's going well. It's a lot of fun. We're hanging out and just coming up with ideas and writing things and having meetings. And I think I had a big gap in my knowledge of how the business that I'm in worked,
Yeah.
Because I knew how to write stuff and to make a film, but I didn't know how it got sold. I mean, it's kind of a boring side of it.
Right.
The side 10 years ago, I would have just said, nah, I'm not interested, but it's kind of amazing. And I think if you're going to be a producer and have a film company, then you should probably know how the business side.
Is that where you want to go? Do you want to go producing, directing? Where do you want?
Yeah, I want to be there, just doing that forever. I mean, I think being an actor's weird, but the more I know about how the game works, the more I think there's not many parts for me out there.
Because you're a specialist subject?
Yeah, essentially. I'm a character actor, and I think the nitty-gritty is that actors get jobs because they make money for production companies, for studios. And that's it, really. It's not like, this guy's amazing, he's been great in this, he works hard, so let's put him in this. You can be the biggest dickhead in the world, but if your last film did $500 million, then they will use it.
But what about Sick Note? Did you enjoy doing that?
I do like doing Sick Note.
Because a lot of people, again, questions. You play a slightly different. See, I think there's two sides to Nick Frost. There's you're quite serious and a little bit pompous. Not pompous in that, but you are a little bit, aren't you? You're a little bit more upper class doctor. And then there's the guy. There's the guy from sort of where you'd say the Hot Fuzz, where you're. Is that a little bit more you in Hot Fuzz? Are you a little bit more?
I don't know. I think I'm probably a bit of everyone.
Everyone.
Yeah.
I think that way it feels like it's grounded in reality, and people tend to warm to every character if they know it's from a place of reality, maybe, right?
Yeah, but with Sick Note, is there another question that came through on the phone before I got here was, is there going to be, because you've sort of left it on, there's 2 series?
2, yeah, I think there is going to be a 3rd season. I think we've just sold it to Netflix, potentially.
Oh, brilliant.
So maybe they'll stump up for a 3rd, or I don't know. I hope so. I like being Dr. Glennis. He's a horribly dark idiot. And I think some of the ideas we've had for 3 are kind of hilarious in terms of his darkness continuing. And
it is getting dark.
Yeah, it's fun. Also, I like that thing in Sick Note, and they used to do it in Some Others Do Have 'Em, but I used to hate it in that. But just stop lying, and it will be fine. When I remember being a kid and watching Some Others Do Have 'Em, and like he'd go downstairs to check the front door, but he'd lock himself out, and then rather than just knock straight away, he'd go and find a ladder so he could climb up. You think, no, just knock.
You wouldn't do that.
She's not going to be asleep because we've seen her brushing her hair at a table.
Surely the best of that is Basil Fawlty. He used to lie in every scene because his wife had come home, and instead of saying he'd had this wall built, he would lie and say, O'Reilly hadn't been there.
Yes, right.
So he would literally dig a hole right to the end of the episode, wouldn't he? So I know what you mean. But with Sick Note, I think from the first episode, you want, just tell the truth. But then it gets worse and worse. But that is the appeal, I think, for me, I watched it all in one go.
I kind of like the fact too. There's, I think a few papers have been like, "Oh, well, it's cancer. It's not a very funny subject matter." It's like, well, I get it, but cancer doesn't give a shit if it's funny or you know what I mean. It's not. I think people, and they're right. I mean, how it's up to people how they deal with what's in front of them, right? But I think to anthropomorphise cancer in terms of it can hear us, it is nothing but folly, right? I mean, or just that, just give it a bloody nose. Yeah, it's not. It's just a.
Well, unfortunately, it's going to get 1 in 3 of us. So
it's around the studio, trying to avoid the child's gaze.
I had got a question. One of my questions was, I'm not going to use, but I thought I'd tell you, was we're going to ask each guest, what do you think you're going to die of? Which actually, we were going to run a bet, and then obviously if you watch it back in 50 years, but it's a horrible question, but never comes up.
I don't think I am.
Really? No.
I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping that my heart attack will beat my cancer.
Well, I've had the full checkup of late.
Do you do it every year?
Well, I had a big scare a couple of Christmases ago, if you recall. Oh, yeah. Christmas Day, watching Harry Potter with the kids, belt down the arm. And you go with the one. Oh,
that's fine. Yeah.
Next thing, you are hyperventilating. Rang a heart surgeon friend, as you do, to say, look, this is what's happening. He was fine with it. Rang NHS. Are the kids there? Yes, they are. Right, okay. Ring ambulance straight away. So by this time, your arm's going mad. You're having a heart attack, aren't you?
Oh.
So Christmas Day, I'm in hospital having a heart attack, but I wasn't. It was a muscle thing.
Was it quiet?
It was fine. It was all good.
But I mean, was the hospital quiet?
Yeah. Well, there was a few, general sort of Christmas Day stuff. But then consequently after that, a load of tests for a man approaching 50.
Yes.
Right through to in the old finger up the backside.
I didn't mind it when I had it.
Yeah, loved it.
Honestly, I didn't mind it.
Hands like Pat Jennings. But now I'm more clear, is what I'm saying to you.
And you told him not to use gloves, which was unusual.
And the thing is, this guy goes to my gym. He's my doctor, and he goes, so the wife teaches spinning, and quite often, there he is, Ian, on the bike next to me, and I know he's had his finger up my arse.
Yeah.
Which is tricky.
It's meant to be a quality death, right?
Yeah, well, I've always, and I said this the other day, just to round the death thing up.
Please.
I'd like to do my own funeral. So I'd like to go in the studio. This is good.
Yeah.
Sit here like this, get CDR in, and say, right, I've died. Obviously, you're all here today. I'm not sure what I died of, but there's a few people I really want to slag off that are probably here.
Yeah.
And there's a few things I want to get off my chest. And here's my second favourite track, and you play it.
Yeah.
So you, rather than some religious crazy nut telling you that he was a lovely person, why don't... There might be a business in this.
Do your own eulogy.
I'll speak to you after this. You do your own funeral.
I wanted to do a TV show where it was essentially you could see how you could do your own funeral before you went, and then at the end you came out of the coffin and stuff.
Oh, yeah, that'd be nice.
So I mean, obviously everyone knows you're alive, but just to see, because I think you just miss it all, right? Obviously, because you're dead, but I think it's a waste that you don't get to see how. I think what I'm saying is, I think we should tell everyone how great they are and how much we love them before they die. and not waste it on deaf ears.
Because you never get to hear it. What a lovely way to end that.
Beautiful. So a nice section.
A nice section. There'll be more of that on death on the next episode. So we don't want. It's very hot in here. We did actually put the heating on to make it feel like you're in a nightclub.
Yes.
Nick.
No, I love it. I might have to piss myself in a minute. And not.
You can always go at any stage.
I've kept. Do you have Hive? Do you have Hive on your phone?
I haven't.
No. It's an app which
your heating.
Yeah, it attaches to your heating at home. So I kept putting my heating on from the office when my girlfriend was at the house.
Oh no!
She goes, "Are you fucking doing the heating? You're putting the Hive on."
What, in this weather?
Yeah,
been the hottest since '76.
Honest, I mean, it's I don't know. I don't think we should complain, but it's just sleeping. That's the only thing. The only thing I miss about my ex-wife is that we got our house air conditioned before she got it. So I missed that.
Nothing else.
It was nice cooking meat for her. My current's a veggie, so it's difficult. It swings and roundabouts.
Yeah.
Me and my son the other day, who is 7, it was so hot and he was coming to stay. About 3 o'clock, I said, fuck this. Let's go and stay in a hotel. So we stayed in the hotel for the night, which had aircon and had a pool on the roof, and he loved it. So now he's coming over to stay on Friday, but he's like, can we go to the hotel again?
Managing expectations a little bit.
No, we can't go to the hotel again.
No, well, it's nice. We're not prepared for the heat in this country, are we? But somebody said to me, "Oh, stop moaning about the heat. You're either too hot, or you're too cold." The body temperature for a human being should be about 22 degrees. So you don't have a shower that's too hot or too cold. You can complain if it's too hot.
Oh yeah, you can.
I saw you on Instagram last night. I think you were struggling sleeping, weren't you?
Oh, I hate it. Just a lot of time with fans, and now the noise of the fan is annoying me as well. I can hear it.
Now that's not a problem for you, is it? Because he needs noise
White
at night.
White noise. Can't sleep without
Tumble dryer in his bedroom. No, literally.
Have you?
Yeah, I can't sleep if it's silent. To me, silence is a noise.
Yes, I understand that.
You understand?
Yeah.
If when I sleep at Andy's house and all you can hear is like a distant hoot of an owl, that to me. No, it's true. It's silence.
I'm a countryman.
I love white noise because I think as DJs we've probably got tinnitus anyway.
Yeah.
You might have it being in nightclubs a lot. You've probably got a slight ringing in your ear, have you?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, and it's going to get worse as you get older. You're a bit younger than me, but when you get to 53...
Yeah.
And by the way, I am 53.
We know.
Pregnant lady come into the office the other day. She thought I was 43.
Oh, well, that's nice.
All the lights are on.
That's nice.
I said, I'm actually 53. What a lovely thought. So, yeah, hot clubs. Just go back to that because we have got to talk about music.
I have a mindfulness app that I use quite a lot at the moment. I've started to be mindful, so I have that on.
What's that do?
It's like lots of different... It's like one guy and lots of different... so you can have like a 30-minute sleep app. Then you put him on... And he's got quite a nice voice.
What's the big thing? My wife's training in all this spiritualism, mindfulness, chakras, your third eye.
I'm not doing that. I'm just trying to be more now.
Yeah.
Because I think as a human, I dwell a lot in the past, and my headspace is somewhere perhaps that isn't necessarily healthy for me right here.
The power of now.
Yes. So, the guy's voice is very good, but sometimes the gaps that he leaves between talking... makes me think that it's gone off. So then I have to, or I fall asleep just enough so when I hear a man's voice, I think he's in the room.
Yeah.
And that.
It's a bit like the Alan Partridge sketch. When he's laid in the
bedroom. Oh, relax, take your shoes off and all that sort of thing. Yeah, I had an app similar.
It's quite nice.
It is quite nice. So that's the best way to sleep. So, do you want to DJ at Creamfields?
No. When is it?
Do you want to? Well, that's probably too late for this year. Do you want to DJ at a tidy event?
Yeah, maybe. Yes, maybe.
I think we should think about that.
Okay.
And plan ahead.
It would be something. I've always dreamt of Nicola Archuleta being a film star.
And obviously, he's got a production company,
company. Now,
2 gentlemen. Hopefully, I'm involved in this.
Maybe, but. Maybe, but obviously,
see what he's doing here, can't you?
I can see where I'm going with this. You could
you do some acting for him now? Just do a little bit.
Don't do it. I'm too embarrassed.
No, but I'd love you to give me something to improvise with Andy.
I don't want to do this. It's awful. It's making me feel sick.
No, you might like this. Go on, just give me a subject.
I don't know. That's how I've got to go. That's me. It's my hard out.
Really?
No, I'm joking. What do you think they should improvise? Look, you're embarrassed as well, aren't you?
Pretend I'm a postman, and I've.
Why don't you're approaching me in a club?
What for?
You're a gay man. Maybe you're making some approach. Try and pull me.
You've got hot dog napkins all over your back.
Yeah,
all over your back passage.
Right. Oh, you're a good dancer.
And we're cut. That was great, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, you've probably got more chance of being a successful DJ than I have an actor.
I think so.
But the accolade, just think about, have you always sort of laid at night? You must have had a dream about being a DJ.
Yeah, often.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's very, I think we've said this before, it's very instant in terms of
gratification.
Getting feedback right there and then,
Question for you then, because you had this debate on Facebook Live the other day. What makes a good DJ? So you're a man who's been clubbing.
Yeah.
And we get asked the question all the time, how do I become a successful DJ? From your opinion?
I don't know. I think it's maybe not so much. I wouldn't necessarily want to be watching the DJ's antics in terms of. Yeah. I think if the flow and the build is broken up by tomfoolery, potentially,
we're out then.
I know.
Because does a DJ need presence? So when this command in the box, or do you want someone to be discreet? Because Andy Whitby, you like Whitby?
Yeah,
he's a full-on entertainer.
Yeah.
I mean, as to be fair, when we're in the box, particularly me, jumping around. And so, is that important to you?
No, I don't care.
It's the music,
right track at the right time.
Yeah, I think just taking me somewhere away from this shit place.
Have you ever been to a nightclub not drunk, or you've literally had a glass of water and you're on the dance floor and still getting off?
The Weekender.
Yeah, I mean,
the Weekender I was, yeah.
A lot of people can't go clubbing without being wrecked.
Yes.
And is there such a thing? Me and Andy are well known as saying this on record, that we don't get wrecked. And when we're on the dance floor, even at trade, we're totally clean. But then some people say, oh, you don't know what it's like. It's a different experience.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I think it's... I think they're different things, essentially, right? I mean, just with the same music, with the same... what's the soundtrack?
Yeah.
But different mind states.
Yeah. But you can get off on just music.
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah, absolutely.
100%. Told you that. Told you. Trying to give me these bloody pills. I don't need it. I just need the music.
They weren't that
suppositories. We're back to the chat-up thing again. Yeah. So a lot of people say that. So I'd still want to get you on DJ, and I think you would be good in the box.
I think I'd be quite serious, because I'd be afraid that I'd F up.
Really?
Yeah.
And where's that set going to go? Is it in the spectrum of hard house? We were at TDV the other day, and Tall Paul played early.
Yes.
Sharp Boys, fantastic. That's how, for me, hard house was when it was breaking. It was accessible.
Oh, yeah, I think
and then it gets too fast and too serious.
Yeah, I agree. I was watching a Tall Paul thing the other day, and he was playing a track, and I can't remember the name of it, but I was thinking, oh, this is amazing. This is great.
Loved it.
Yeah. Well, that's where Commisera and stuff like that, he did all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
That's where, for me, hard house is 130 to 136. Then it can get a little bit harder, but then when it goes to 155, you're reaching for hardcore, aren't you? And it's a bit too fast.
I was really liking, I think they've stopped now, but the Brummie guys who were at the what's it called? They were doing like a hard house thing, a bounce factory.
Yeah, Justin Daniels.
Yes, I really like their sets were
Tom Berry.
Kind of frantic. Tom Berry, they were kind of frantic, but they kind of did it for an hour. It was like, oh yes, this is fantastic.
Yeah. You used to like the old school Whitby, but not so much the new stuff. You mentioned that. He's gone a little bit left of something.
Yes, piano and vocals have kind of lost me a bit. But I realise that there's a place for it. But it's just not my thing.
So if you could have a night with one DJ and in the hard house, and they're going to play for you at your private party, who would you reach for?
I know. I'm going to say BK.
Yeah,
that's good.
I know Ben. I've met him a couple of times, But I remember watching him play sets back in the day when I just thought, oh, this is fucking great, you know.
Yeah, well, he was a big London DJ, Nucleus, and
yes.
You would have seen him at Frantic and all those gigs. Peach, yeah, he played at
Camden Palace, and
there was another one called Sherbet. Did you ever go to Sherbet?
I think I might have gone to Sherbet.
Pete Wardman
played
down there. Yeah, Sherbet was a good night. That used to follow on after trade, so I think you get DTPMP or something, and then
DTPM.
That's what I can't say, yeah. And then you go to trade, and then you go to Sherbet at the end on a Sunday.
Oh,
they were
amazing.
the days.
Yes.
Do you think is there too old for clubbing? Is there too old for DJ?
No, I don't think. I think the whole ethos of clubbing, of hard house clubbing, anyway, is you're never too old. You know, I remember there's a few guys that were at the Weekender, just an old man and his wife, and just going to enjoy the sound. You know,
we had that at TDV. Most of the audience, we worked out from the ticket sales, the average age.
Can I guess?
Go on.
36.
Yeah.
Oh, for real?
Bang on.
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
Have you heard me say that before?
No, not at all.
That was a good guess. But the average age was 36, and the oldest person there was 64.
Okay.
Tony DeVee would have been 61 this year. But
yeah.
We're celebrating 23 years this year at Tidy. 20, and we've got a big party in Sheffield.
Yeah. Love you to come.
It'd be nice.
We'd love you to come, but you don't come out, do you?
I don't know. I'll never say never. No, I don't come out.
Gate Crusher.
It's a gate, yes. When is it, though? It's in
29th.
September the 29th. Are you filming anywhere?
No, I'm not.
What's your next project?
I don't know. I've got films coming out. I'm in that festival film.
Oh, yeah. What's that like? I've seen the advert.
My son said, ask Nick about festival.
Yeah, I think it's going to be all right. So my brother-in-law was the producer, and he asked me to come and do it as a fave, and which I was happy to do. I think it'll be fine. Honestly, it was an odd day's shoot. Right. I spent 2 hours looking at a young man's arsehole, which was weird. I think in hindsight, if I was the producer, I would have said, guys, you're never going to see the hole from this angle, so why don't we just tape it up? Why don't we gaffer it over? That would have been mine.
You've got a small part in this film then?
Yeah. Fairly,
but they use you in the advert when it's being, you're.
Of course, but of course, there's that, and I did a film with Stephen Merchant and The Rock called Fighting With My Family, where I play a wrestler, and the dad of a wrestler, which comes out in March. I think we made it last year, but they've pushed it back a little bit till March. And then me and Simon made a film with Crispin Mills called Slaughterhouse Rules, essentially about posh kids at a boarding school getting eaten by a monster. Which is, I think, a lot of people that make a lot of people happy right now.
What about Badlands?
Yes, well, we made the third season in 2 halves, so they've played 1 to 8 out, and I think in the new year they'll play out 9 to 16.
Because you were out of the country for 6 months.
10 months. I was in Ireland before last year. 10 months, yeah, and then 4 months the year before. It was a long time. It was too long. Just.
Why was it that long? Because you're doing 2 series.
You're doing 16 hours of shooting, and it's long. You know, it's an hour an episode, and the fights take 3 weeks each to shoot. So it's just long and grueling and unforgiving. And I got every Saturday and Sunday off usually, but then I'd fly back to London 7 a.m. Saturday morning to see my son and the mates and that, and then Sunday afternoon they'd fly back
to work.
Yeah,
back to work.
But I mean, what can you do? You got to work, right? You can't.
Yeah,
I'm not in a position where you can think, oh, fuck it, we're good.
You can't take 6 months off then?
No, I wouldn't want to. I'd go mad. I hate it. I hate not working. It's just not good for me.
That's why we came back out of retirement. I guess.
That's why we go. Before we all pass out due to the heat, and I don't want to be in here too long because
water really.
Could we get some more water?
My assistant daughter. Could you go and find the man, Sophia, to see if we can get some more water?
Water, because we're passing out, and I don't know whether we can just put. There's no aircon in it. I mean, you
don't have to turn it off though, because the
noise. Yeah, we got a fan there.
That's nothing. It wouldn't do anything, would it?
Would it?
It's a nice branded. So a radio fan.
We could put it on for 5 minutes. I've just got some questions, and I feel guilty if I didn't ask.
Come on then, let's do it.
So the obvious questions, first of all, is out of the 3 trilogy films, and Paul,
yes,
of those 4, have you got a favourite?
I think Hot Fuzz felt the nicest to shoot because it felt like we were all living down in Somerset for 8 weeks in the summer, and it was great. We all shared a house, and that felt the most idyllic. But I think I'm proudest of Paul because I wrote it, we produced it, and got a great cast together and shot it in. Got to live in Santa Fe, and it felt great.
So they were the best film. But what about when you look back at it as if you watched it retrospectively? Obviously, I personally I'm with you. I like Hot Fuzz. There was something about Hot Fuzz that was sort of quite warm and endearing, and I thought it had a really good story and counterplot.
I've got to be honest. I don't think I've watched any of them.
They're on ITV3 every weekend.
That's probably why. But also, we do so much promotion in the States and worldwide for those films. So, when we did like the Hot Fuzz tour for the States, we probably watched, we did a different city. I think we did 26 cities in 32 days or just something stupid, and you just get over it. You just get...
Yeah.
I don't want it not to be special, so now I don't tend to watch it. But if we're somewhere and it's on the telly, we're in a hotel and they're showing Paul's on, we'd probably watch it, watch a bit of it.
And a cliche question I'm almost embarrassed to ask, is there going to be another getting together of you, Simon Pegg and Edgar?
Yeah, I would hope so. I don't know what, though.
Nothing's on the table?
No.
But you all live separate lives, though, don't you, really? I mean, they're in the sort of LA.
I think we'll come at one point together and there'll be an idea which is great, and it makes everyone think, hey, well done. Makes everyone think, oh, that's a good idea, and we got time, and then we'll...
Because
everyone's so busy, it's difficult to just talk about... yes, please, if I could.
There's a good plot, though, surely, for a good clubbing movie. Do you know, my opinion, there's only one good clubbing movie, and that was Human Traffic.
Thank you.
Did you ever see Human Traffic?
Yeah, I think I did see Human Traffic.
With Sims? John Sim in it.
John Sim, yeah.
Yeah, and that's where the line, the big famous lines, Weekender has landed, all that exists now is clubs, drugs and parties.
Yes.
But there's not many good clubbing...
Was someone making a documentary about the Hard House scene?
Yes,
that was us.
And?
Well, there was a guy in Holland.
Yeah, but that wasn't... We wanted to do one about Tony DeVee and his life, because when we investigated for the memorial, we found out there's some really good... I think in any documentary you've got to have light and shade, and there's some real juicy bits about Tony's life which a lot of people might want to know about. And then we thought, if Tony was the central character because he was the biggest DJ and inspiration for the scene, then you could put the scene around him, so him be the pivot, and then the inspiration he did, and then we want to go to Hull and see these mad clubbers that set up a cafe called Tidy, obsessives. That Channel 4, it's a little bit not creepy, but
I know what you mean.
Bit weird. We think there's a good documentary in that, and we think about doing a Kickstarter, because that's a question to you, from me to you. How do you get a documentary funded?
Oh, it's difficult. I have a friend called Bob Whitey who directed what's that thing I did for Sky? Right, Mr. Sloan. He directed Mr. Sloan. He's a lovely man, but he's been making a documentary about an American writer for 25 years. Where he makes some, then it's a real a labour of love.
But you have to get it commissioned, Sky Arts, BBC4.
I mean, I think the issue that you're going to have is your potential audience is really small, and financially there's not much of a, there's not much crossover between people that like Hard House and say,
But even if it's a good story, I mean, I watched like Sky Arts. I watched about a banjo player from 1946 that you're not interested in, but then all of a sudden his story, he might become an alcoholic, and then he leaves his. What I'm saying is, if there's a good story, surely that's important.
Yeah.
So what we might do is we
it's more about the culture, I think, and
What was that? There was a great film about 2 years ago, and it was about the Northern Soul scene.
Yes, exactly.
That was a great film.
And it was. I think it was on Channel 4, BBC4, I think.
Yes, but that was a feature. That was a feature film. Yeah. But I think that would be the way to go, where you get a great story about characters who happen to be living in the Hard House, set in 95 or
Yeah,
keep going.
And go on.
Mid-90s.
Young man, 22, Ian. And I think that's how you'd do it. Yeah. And then you'd have Tony DeVee's music as a soundtrack.
There you go. Forget the documentary. Who would play Tony? I'm too old now, so it'd have to be somebody in about 41 who looked a bit like Tony. But I like the idea.
Who were the two sharp boys? There was one sharp boy at the weekend.
Steve and George. It was Steve.
He was great. He did a great set at your.
Yeah, he did.
By the way.
And we're a big fan of the Sharp Boys because they inspired what we did at Tidy, really. They play a lot slower, 130 house, but it's groovy. It's a little bit techie and it's a little bit hard house. I mean, Sam Townend from, I must give him a mention, but he's doing the Tough London stuff now. And all it is, potentially, and he's doing it with BK, they've slowed hard house down to 130, and they've got the same noises, they've got the same little sounds, but it's more accessible. People are not frightened when you go under 130.
Yes,
and that's.
I think hard house needs to evolve slightly, and I'm not sure how, because otherwise, as the age of your audience shows that it essentially will die with them unless it can. Yeah. Find a way to exist and evolve.
Does it need to lose the name Hard House? Because it wasn't Hard House. When we used to go clubbing, it was
dance music.
Just music.
Yeah.
You went to Gatecrasher, it was a blend of music.
Yeah.
Whereas everything then got pigeonholed.
People like that, though.
New energy. New NRG. That was
handbag, hardbag.
Yeah, but people like a tag. They like to be. It's very tribal, and this is another reason why we're doing this talk show. Because when we talk about tribal, I mean, look at sort of rap and hip hop. That is very tribal, and you've got it in hard house. We've got a different community though. They, like you said, they love. You knock somebody's drink over and they give you a hug.
Yes.
Whereas, with all due respect, if you're in a garage or a drum and bass night, you knock a drink over, it's a different story.
Yes, agreed.
And that's the different thing about different styles of music. I think trance is quite upbeat as well. The only thing I don't like about trance is it can be a bit mum and dad.
Right.
What do you mean, mum and dad?
Well, you're in your car and you wind your
commercial. Do you mean commercial?
A little bit too melodic in areas.
Right.
And you can find yourself whistling, and that's when it becomes a bit mum and dad.
It's very euphoric, though, isn't it?
It can be,
emotional, but
lasers.
On the dance floor.
But there's trance and there's trance, isn't there?
There's trance and there's trance.
I mean, listen, have you heard of Nina Kravitz?
I have.
Okay, I listened to like a set she played, like a 2-hour set. I don't know, a live thing from somewhere, and it was just like a perfect 2 hours in terms of stuff that I like. And
where did it go?
Oh, this is amazing! Just it went here and it ended here. Just every little box was ticked, and it was like, this is great.
There we go.
That's what
it was
you want.
lovely. Yeah.
Every set should be a musical journey.
Yes, agreed. Yes,
and you do get that with the Tidy Boys. I must stress.
Yes, you do, Amadeus.
And you may get it. You may get it with Nick Frost when he's on in Tidy London soon.
Tidy London.
Yeah, well,
Tidy Twickenham.
Tidy Twickenham. That's where you still live, isn't it? Reside.
Yeah.
Do you love it there?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I do love it.
You would never move.
I hope not, unless there's something awful happened and.
No, what I'm saying is you've not thought, do you know what? I'd like to live in the country.
Nah, never. I think my girlfriend would quite like to live in the country, but it's, I've got a child whose mother, I wouldn't want to not be with my children. So.
And you got another one on the way?
Yes.
When's that due? Are we allowed to say?
In October.
In October.
In the autumn time.
Lovely.
Looking forward to that?
No. I am too old. Yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah. Like I always said, children are the best thing and the worst thing in one package.
Yes,
and I think that sort of sums it up. You get all the great emotion you get having a child, and then you get all the worry, heart out. I mean, my son Max is 24, and I still worry about him really now as if he was 4.
Yes.
Different worries.
Yes, mine, as a 7-year-old now, has where he wants to go and see the Meg. And so we're having that debate that it's not for you.
Is that about a big fish?
A big shark, a megalodon, with Jason Statham. I don't mind him seeing the Meg, but it's Statham I have a problem with.
Do you know what? He looks a bit like him.
No?
Do you not think?
Oh, yeah, maybe. Hang on, let me take my glasses off. Oh, yeah.
I'll look hard.
But he always says that. He always says, I look like Jason Statham.
No, I don't. People say it to me.
No.
They also look like Harry Hill as well, but, I ignore that one.
That's a fair point.
Gareth, Statham. Back together again.
What? Yeah.
2 Gareths and a Statham. That could be our...
So you're not going to see the film?
Yeah, I'd like to see it, but I can't see it with my 7-year-old. But he has friends who go and see it, and it's difficult being a dad to say, well, they're not my problem, those children. I need to look after your soft mind, not...
What age would you let him go to then? 14? Is that too old?
10.
10?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you like that with your kids, or do they watch anything?
Well, yeah. Alexander went to watch a 15 the other day, took his passport so he could get in.
Really?
The eldest went to Ibiza for the first time last week, so, you're crossing all these different sort of hurdles, aren't you?
Yeah.
But yeah. Within reason, Amadeus.
Within reason. You've got to be.
Should you let Max watch everything?
At 24?
Yeah.
I think he watches things that are banned in Belgium.
Do you think you and Angela have any more?
I've had the snip.
Yeah.
We had Max.
Well, it's not 100%, is it?
No,
it's not. But then Max was a problem child because he wouldn't sleep at night. So we had a bad one.
And you're not a big fan of them as well.
No, and so what happens is we're not having any more. But some people, they have two, and they have the good one first, and then they say, "Oh, we'll have another."
Three.
Yeah,
three.
So if you
got three, haven't you?
You've got three.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you'll get worries. I mean, he's 7 now, and you've got these worries. But when he gets to 24, it'll be he's in a car with a guy who I don't like, who drives fast in the fog.
Yeah, this to me is the beginning of an episode of Casualty.
Yes.
What you're talking about.
And then they're going to go clubbing, and then they're going to do all the things that maybe you did at 16, and you know as a dad.
I'm hoping that will skip a generation though, and my kids won't.
That is the
They'll
thing.
see Dad and think, nah.
Yeah.
That I'll be. My life will be a cautionary tale to them.
Yeah, mate.
You hope so.
Well, I think they sort of hate you when they get to 15 for about 2 years. They go off you, and then they don't. Anything you say is rubbish.
Yes,
and then I think when they get to 19, they start to think, "Well, Dad's all right, actually." Yeah. But maybe because you're quite a well-known celebrity, that your son will grow to like you.
I hope so. I mean, you can only do your best, right? I'm always honest, and we have a laugh, and I think I'd never not change that. It was the right thing to do.
Totally.
And what did we do? We were listening to something yesterday. It started to rain in the garden, so we put on Ladysmith Black Mambaza, the Rain, Rain, Rain song, and we sat in silence, me and Hayley and my 7-year-old, and we listened to that, and we just let the rain fall on us, which felt like a really nice moment. And then we put something else on, and I said, "What kind of music is this?" He went, "It's jazz." I was like, "Yeah, it was jazz. It was amazing." He's a fan of Hard House. He loves Hard House, and
that's good. So the next generation coming through.
Yeah,
that's what we like.
Well, give them that choice, of everything. I think that's an important thing that we as parents have to provide, and that's give them everything in terms musically, so they get to choose what's what. I never had music in my house growing up as a kid.
Oh, I'm going to say, because this brings us on nicely to the sort of one of my final questions to you. What was your guilty pleasures growing up? There must have been. You love music, so therefore music got into your brain somewhere. Where did it come from if it wasn't your parents?
I think I remember my mum and dad jiving at Christmas to a K-Tel song, a K-Tel album.
Yeah.
Like Bill Haley and the Crickets, or was it Bill Haley and the Crickets?
Comets.
Buddy Holly
and the Crickets. Yeah.
Yes, them jiving in the kitchen to Bill Haley, and I remember watching that and enjoying that.
Angie's parents, though, they don't even have a radio in the house. Not interested in music, and I sometimes question people that are not. It's odd for me to find people that I don't like music.
Yeah, I don't.
It's part of life, surely.
I don't get it.
It's the soundtrack to life. It's the shorthand of emotion.
It is.
What about that for
We'll be right.
That's beautiful. That
shorthand emotion. So you weren't into the Carpenters or anything like that?
No, not really. I mean, I think I remember listening to the Close Encounters soundtrack and frightening myself, and then like Mantovani. I had a cassette of Mantovani, but I like listening. I had a friend, George Chesterton, who was very cool, and he liked Sonic Youth and the Smiths, and Joy Division and the Wedding Present, and starting listening to that. That was my first inkling that there was other bigger things out there. Do
you know what I used to listen to as a 14-year-old?
Mum screaming.
The Village People.
Oh yeah.
Well, I was into disco, right, and everybody else was into punk. And at school, I got picked on, and everybody said, "Here comes the gay boy," right? Because I was into the Village People,
sure.
And I was into disco, wearing satin trousers.
Oh, I managed to get it. Hang on, let's pause that. Go on, you continue your story, and I'll drop this.
You drop that in a minute.
Yeah.
I was 14. Imagine this. I think I had a perm. I was 14, into disco music with a briefcase at school, and everybody else is into punk, right? And then like the Gibson Brothers and all this, and then people started picking on me because of my music choice. Is that wrong? You back me up?
With a briefcase at school, you were asking for it, weren't you?
Were you the kind of child that went to a cash and carry and picked up a box of sweets and then sold them out for a bigger
Yes, I did.
Did you?
Yes, I
Did
did.
you?
Yeah, I did.
We
I was a
kid
bit
like
of an
that at school as
entrepreneur.
well.
But yeah, basically, you're dictated to as an early age of what they assumed, because the village people were gay, that because I liked their music, I was gay. And I'm sure people who like David Bowie had the same problem. But I rebelled. Although I did end up working in a gay menswear shop and a men's sauna.
And live with a gay man.
I lived with a gay man, went to trade.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a secret homosexual within you, which is fine.
We're all a bit gay inside us, aren't we?
Which is fine. I have shared a bed with him once.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're not bisexual, but people used to call us strays, which was a mixture of a straight and a gay person.
No, I got it.
And I think that's acceptance.
See what he did there?
No, I did get it.
Strays.
I'm going to play some of this music.
Please.
Go on.
So this is what I found earlier, right?
Recap.
Okay, so this is Edip Akbayram, and the tune is Yakar Incident. It's like 1969.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
You could use that, yeah.
Ooh. See, I like a bit of funk, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just doing LSD, driving a little car around Istanbul, grabbing some koftas.
Sitar?
No, it's a bazooki or balalaika. I don't know. Bazooki.
You've lost me there.
Yeah, where's it
for real?
now?
I loved the bit at the beginning.
But it kicks back in.
Yeah, I like the funk, but...
Hang on, just give it a second. This is the build to the break. I don't think that there are any... If you're Turkish, give us a ring. I'm losing you to it. Is it?
No.
I think I'm losing myself for a moment.
It's a long breakdown,
Who's
isn't
going to
it?
kick back?
And then it's back.
Yeah. Fine.
Anyway, that's...
I would like to sample that, and particularly that guitar, and you put it in sort
It's
of
a lot of fun.
a disco track. But is that new, or is that from the 60s?
That's from the 60s. That's like 1969.
Yeah.
Wow. See, I love that library music stuff from the 60s and the 70s, that sort of funk. So you like funk anyway?
Love it.
So you've hit the back of the net with that. I'm going to, if you want to go on Spotify, if you can spell his name.
Oh, shit. What's this? What is?
What was that? That was Michael Ball. This is just a smoke screen. He's really listening
great.
to Michael Ball at home.
Who have you got on next week?
Well, actually, yeah, we want to round things off. This is a new show. What do you think, as our first guest, as a conversational chat about music and life, will this work, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of shit out there, so I think it'll be, fine.
And if we're reaching for a sponsorship, do you think, because it's called sort of eat, sleep, talk and repeat, and
Yes.
I thought we could get somebody like a Burger King do the eat, Otti mattresses do the sleep,
Nice
right?
touch, yeah.
What's next? Talk. We could get some sort of microphone, Shaw mics.
Yes.
And then repeat. We could get Rennie or Gaviscon to do.
Oh, that's clever.
Yeah.
But then I run out of ideas. What do you think?
I think that's it. I think you've...
It's a winner.
The first show is sponsored by Glam Zoo, and also we're doing it as a patron. So if people want to see more or hear more of this, please donate or put £1 in the pot.
Yes.
So we can get bigger guests like Paul O'Grady or Lenny Henry. We could work our way
You
up.
could work your way up.
Yeah, really good.
Although I'm going to be honest with you now, Nick, I think it's going to go down from here, because I think you're probably the one and only biggest. You're a bit of a cult icon.
Where's it doesn't he's a Hard House fan, right? Idris. Is Idris a Hard? He plays that, right?
Or does he play sort of tough house?
Does he play Tough House?
Well, we could. This isn't just about hard house.
Idris would be good.
Yeah.
Please, we must stress this isn't just about hard house, because the show's sort of over once we get Paul Chuckle, and we're over. So we need to expand. We want Trevor Nelson. I keep talking about Trevor, don't I? Pretty mouth. Trevor Nelson.
I know. Obviously, I know Lionel Blair.
He does actually. Tell me the story where Lionel Blair.
No, I don't think I can.
Isn't do you know? Oh, my bum hurts. Isn't Hodor from what's that show? Game of Thrones. There's a character called Hodor, and all he says is Hodor, essentially.
Is he into clubbing?
But I've seen footage of him playing techno.
Right.
Pretty great.
That's what we want then. So after the show, what we'll do is you write a list down of people you think have had a similar lifestyle to you, into clubbing, like their music. Doesn't have to be hard house. It could be hardcore, trance, techno. There's got to be some more celebs or people that are into it like you, Nick. Surely you're not the only one on the scene that's sort of...
Put the word out.
Put the word out.
Yeah, all right. Yes.
We could even get Simon Pegg talking about big vocal... Big beat.
Yeah.
If he remembers it.
He loves a big beat.
Does he really still like music? I'd like to... Actually, I've got a friend, just before we go, his name's Edward Very, and he sent me a little YouTube clip, and he said, you know Nick Frost. And it was like, I love Nick Frost. And he sent me this little loop in the car, right? And I said, well, what do you want me to do? He said, when you speak to Nick Frost, can he put me in touch with Simon Pegg? And I thought that was cheeky.
Absolutely.
All he was doing, he was getting through to me.
Oh, yeah.
Because I knew you to get Simon Pegg. I'd delete, blocked.
Yeah. No, I don't know who that is.
Do you want to lay down and while we shower you?
Wow, exciting here.
It is, isn't it?
We're all going to... There's no oxygen here.
I've got to say, there's something I feel... Now, I'm looking at you and you're not really sweating, and I fear that your kidneys have packed up.
T-shirts.
Oh, I see, yes.
My T-shirt's
It's
wet.
so bonkers in here.
So bonkers. Well, thanks for joining us, Nick. It is the hottest summer since 1976. We're in a very small room, and I think we've had a bit of a chat. Is there anything else you'd like to ask us, Nick? We always ask that. If there's something on your mind that you've been wanting to actually say.
What time's my car booked for?
About now.
We'll sort it out in 10 minutes' time. Okay. You'll be in an air-conditioned car going back to your nice house where you can lay.
No, I'm going back to the car park where I park my car because I drive in every day.
All right, because you're in the office around the corner.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much, Nick. I hope we've not bored you or bored people, and people have enjoyed it.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.